Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing gloves. It'll make sense soon enough. So today I am doing a video on my Hermes blue Electrique Constance 18 in Tadillac leather. So if you already watch my channel, you probably know a little bit of the history about this bag, but if you don't already watch my channel and you aren't already subscribed, then I would love if you would hit that subscribe button below and also the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, which is on every Wednesday and weekend US time. All about luxury, of course. So I wanted to film this video and sit down and let you know what is going on with my Constance 18, because the last I told you guys is that I was selling this bag. I had sent it off to consign in USA. However, I do have some lessons learnt from the process of sending my bag over to the US, because I am actually based in Australia. I'm based in Sydney, Australia. And quite obviously, if I have the bag back, you know, it's come back from consignment, it hasn't sold over in the US. It isn't the best economic climate at the moment, quite obviously, for buying luxury. But I have also heard that because the Hermes boutiques have been closed for so long and France was closed for about 3 months, stock is quite scarce. So then I've also heard the opposite, that Hermes bags in the resale market are actually selling quite quickly because of that fact. But unfortunately, my bag didn't sell. It was consigned with them. I think it got listed on their website at the very end of October. So it's now, you know, start of June, and I just got the bag back maybe about a week or so ago, and yeah, it didn't sell, unfortunately. So it definitely was there for a good solid 6 months with no sale. I had actually consigned with them before and had better luck, but like I said, there are some lessons learnt that I'm going to tell you guys, especially if you are based in Australia. I think that the lessons learnt that I have to tell you, you probably find very informative, and hopefully, you know, what I went through can help to avoid you going through the same kind of stress. Okay, so let's do a rundown. This bag, yes, I still do want to sell it. However, the reason I'm actually wearing gloves is because I am no longer going to be the one selling this bag. I have actually decided to do a direct sell with the fabulous Purse Affair. So they're called the Purse Affair. The owner is named Angela. I actually had spoken to her before. I had known her for quite some time, actually, from the luxury groups that we have in Australia. I knew her from that, and she has grown her business over the years, and she has done a fabulous job of it, no doubt about it. She has a fantastic consignment store. She's based in Melbourne. She has an Instagram account called the Purse Affair. Of course, I'm going to link everything down below. But what is actually great about her store, and this is why I said, if you are in Australia, you're going to find my lessons learnt very helpful. She has an actual store that is based in Melbourne. And why I'm emphasizing that is because having an actual physical consignment store, to me, I think is very important when it comes to consigning your goods, because you know that your products are going to be in a shop where there is going to be thoroughfare traffic, you know, people walking by seeing it. People that want to actually go and see the item can go and see the item, so that entices a buyer more to actually physically see it. You also have less risk of the fact that if they actually physically have a shop, they are pretty much always going to be in business, okay? You're not having to worry about, if they're an Instagram exclusive consignment store, that the Instagram account could get shut down out of nowhere, which I have seen happen. Can you imagine if you're consigning a bag with an exclusively only Instagram reseller, Instagram consignment store, then if they don't get the Instagram account up and running, your bag's going to be, you know, not being advertised for the period of time that their account isn't running. And if they have to, you know, unfortunately restart their whole Instagram account, they lose all those followers that they had built up. They had got to try and bring them back, and that quite obviously takes time. So then that gives your bag less exposure in the consignment market, in the pre-loved market. So that's what I think is a fantastic thing about the Purse Affair. Biggest point is the fact that she has an actual physical shop in Melbourne, and she also has a website too. So if you are searching for a bag and you're doing a Google search, you have higher odds of your bag, the one that you're selling with her, or the one that you want to buy from the Purse Affair, you have a higher odd of it actually popping up in the Google searches because of the fact that she has a website. I regret from the very beginning that I didn't actually just send the bag to her for consignment from the get-go. But to be quite honest, because I had actually consigned a bag before with Anne's Fabulous Finds in the US, I just thought that, oh, surely this bag will be able to sell through that website again. However, there is a reason why I did choose the US in the first place, being an Australian, you know, being based in Australia, is because the US does have a big market as well. But the reason I regret doing that, for a few things. One, my bag is in another country. And two, when the pandemic hit, I was freaking out because my bag was in a country where I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get my bag back for, I think it was a good solid, I think it was actually about a month and a half, because the US had a full month and a half of lockdowns. So by the time I wanted to get my bag back, it was too late. They just went into lockdown. And then I had to wait another further month and a half to get the bag back. It was still on the website for sale, but unfortunately it didn't sell. The other thing is that it is a real pain in the backside when it actually comes to getting your bag back or your item back, whatever you choose to consign overseas. It is a pain in the backside to get it back because of the issue that you have with customs. Now, even though when they shipped it back to me, they shipped it back by FedEx, which is a very safe and fast, reliable service. That's what they do. They ship their bags back by international courier. That's pretty much what their shipping is always by you know, courier service like FedEx, DHL, that sort of thing. Because unfortunately, the postal service can be unreliable, and I can attest to that. I've had issues with the postal service before, so that's why they feel much more comfortable to ship the bags back by you know, FedEx, which I understand is a very, very expensive bag. Okay, so the bag was shipped back to me fully insured. In Australia, thankfully enough, we do not have to pay duties and taxes on items that are returned goods. So this was technically a returned bag. I owned it. It belonged to me. I had the receipt for it, had the original receipt, so it came back to me as a returned good, so I didn't have to pay customs or duties. However, with international couriers, you always have to pay a clearance fee. It's a brokerage fee. Essentially, they charge you the administrative costs for reviewing that invoice, the customs invoice that the company has to attach to the bag that says it's return goods or whatever it may be. They charge you a brokerage fee. So I had to pay $190 Australian just to get this bag in my hands. I got charged before the bag had even arrived to me. I had to pay it. If I didn't pay it, I didn't get the bag back. The bag would have been in limbo. So that's really annoying. So not only was I not able to sell my bag, and it had been more than 6 months, but I had to pay $190 to actually have it back to me. And I was pretty much giving free money to the international courier because they didn't have to do anything. They just looked at the paperwork and went, yeah, okay, it's returns good. It's been declared as that. It's been sent back from a business who's a consignment store. Okay, charge you $190 so you can get your bag back, get your item back, even though Anne's Fabulous Finds already paid to ship this back to me. So they've already paid shipping as well. So that really annoyed me. That's not their fault. This is just the system. This is something that I didn't know, and when I went into consigning, I had no idea that my bag wasn't going to sell, and I didn't even think of what if it doesn't sell, what then happens. So this is why I'm telling you, if you are based in Australia, I really strongly recommend, if you are trying to sell a luxury bag and you don't want the risk, you also want wide exposure for your bag to be sold. Like I said, Instagram, she has an Instagram account, so she has quite a lot of followers on Instagram. She has loyal clientele as well. She has a website, so it comes up in the Google searches if someone is looking for a particular bag. She also has a physical shop, so you have the also extra exposure of thoroughfare traffic, people walking by, or people that want to go and see the actual bag. They can see it, and you know, more than likely they're gonna feel more tempted to buy something that they can actually physically see, touch, try on, that sort of thing. Okay, so I think if you are in Australia, if you're wanting to consign, the Purseonfleek is a fantastic option. So going forward, if I'm wanting to sell expensive luxury bags, especially in the Hermes category, I'm just going to use the Purseonfleek from now on. So that is what is going on with my bag. It is going to go to the Purseonfleek for consignment. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you is that I actually opted to do a sellout for this bag, or buyout, whatever you want to call it, okay? She is actually going to buy this bag from me outright. So that is another fantastic thing that they offer, is that if you don't want to wait for it to sell, they do have that sell to us option where they will just pay you for the bag, obviously once they've received it. Downside with that is, of course, you're not going to get as much money to sell the bag outright as what you would to consign it, okay? So I would think for anyone who's wanting to sell a bag, unless you're in dire need for that money immediately, then it is probably better to consign it so you can get the maximum amount. However, if you're needing money quickly, then just use the sellout option, because I actually went and got quotes from other companies that are in Australia that do that sellout, buyout, you know, we'll buy your bag for cash sort of thing, and they really lowballed me. Yeah, I was getting the amount of $5,500 Australian. Who's gonna let go of a Constance 18 that's only 2017 stamp for $5,500 Australian? No, I'm not that crazy. The price that she's given me for buyout, I think is very, very, very reasonable. And the reason I'm going with the buyout option, rather than consigning it where I could definitely get more, is because the bag has been for sale for more than 6 months. And I'm at that point where I'm like, you know what? It is annoying. I'm not using it. I don't want to keep it. Look, this color is not for me. I like blue, but I have realized that I like baby blue, pastel sorts of blues, or very, very dark navy where it pretty much almost looks like black, okay? I don't like that middle color, so I realize I don't like blue electric. It's a really beautiful color. Look at it. Look how nice it looks against me. It is a beautiful color. I know that this color suits me, but it just doesn't sing to me. And I bought the bag thinking that I would love it because I know that this color suits me. I already know that. I have jackets in this color, but I never wear them. I should have known that. I never wear this color, hardly ever wear it, but yet I go and buy a bag in this color. So I realized that, look, blue electric is not for me. Blue Zanzibar, blue Hydra, blue Zaligi, those colors in that family, they are not for me. So I will not be buying a blue bag in this color family. I just want to make that clear because you may see a blue bag on my channel again, but it ain't going to be in this color family, all right? And I don't want anyone coming for me going, I thought you don't like blue. I'm specifically saying in this kind of royal blue kind of family, that middle tone blue. Okay, so I think that is pretty much enough that I need to sort of say about what is going to happen with this bag. My lessons learnt as an actual recap, so we can summarize this, is 1, if you live in Australia, I really highly recommend, if you're wanting to sell your luxury goods, especially handbags, because they're expensive. It also involves quite a lot of risk if you try to sell them yourselves. I personally have almost been scammed by trying to sell my bag on eBay once before, and I will now never, ever, ever again sell an expensive handbag on eBay, okay? If you're in Australia, consign with the Purseonfleek. That's what I'll be doing going forward with any of my very expensive designer handbags, especially the Hermes ones in particular. The reasons being, I've already said, they have a website, store, all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to repeat myself. All the details will be down below for the website. This video is not sponsored in any way. It's not being sponsored. I haven't been paid to film this. I just wanted to tell you what is going on with this bag because I got it back, you know, and I've had people ask me if my bag's sold and that sort of thing, and I feel that this video wraps it all up in a nutshell so you can know what's going on and you can know that no, I don't want to keep it anymore. It is not for me because of the color. The other lessons learned is that I love the Constance 18. This is actually my second Constance 18. I had a Constance 18 before in Black Swift, but unfortunately it was bought pre-loved from Japan and it wasn't taken very well care of. And I didn't realize the extent of how much wear it had because there wasn't many photos, unfortunately. Usually Japan is quite good, but unfortunately this seller didn't really provide a lot of photos. So when I received the bag, I wouldn't say that I received it in a condition that wasn't described because they definitely described it as very fair condition, but I just was expecting it to be a little bit, you know, a little bit better. So I already know I like the Constance 18. The lessons learned is that I still love the Constance 18. The lessons learned for me is that this color is not for me. So going forward, I'm going to make sure I stick with the colors. At least if I buy Constance 18 again, it's got to be in the top 10 colors that I listed before in my video. Or it's got to be in a color that's similar to one of those top 10 colors. So let's say Rose Sakura is one of my top 10. I would also like a mauve handbag because that's very similar to Rose Sakura. I'd still be happy for a black Constance 18, okay? Black is not listed in my top 10 colors, but I still would love it because it's a neutral, it's safe, okay? So going forward, I know if I'm getting a Constance 18 again, it's got to be in that color family that I have as my favorites, or it's got to be quite similar to one of those. But obviously, the lessons learned is I'm not going to be sending my bag overseas for consignment anymore, okay? That's it in a nutshell. That's pretty much it, I'm not going to do that anymore. I want to give a quick little summary about losing money on this bag, okay? So I've said I'm going to lose money on this bag. And people say, oh look, but Hermes is an investment. No, that sort of thing. Yes, it is to some extent, but really it's not an investment because if you're going to use the bag, it's never going to be an investment, okay? You're going to wear the bag, it's going to wear down. There's going to be wear and tear, that sort of thing, okay? So there's a lot of variables in it when it comes to really being an investment. You shouldn't, in general, if you have paid the retail price for a handbag that's Hermes, generally you shouldn't lose money. Possibly you should expect to lose money if you paid brand new for a Birkin 35, Kelly 35, and they're not desirable at the moment. You'd have to wait until the tables turn. Different scenario again. But the reason that I feel that I am going to lose money on this handbag is Constance is not as desirable as Birkin or Kelly. Birkin and Kelly especially in those sizes 25, 28. They are extremely desirable, and Birkin 30 of course. Constance is not the same. It's not as desirable. I notice in the resale market, the most desirable in neutrals. So, you know, black, etoupe, cray, gris pearl, gold, especially gold, Berenia. Those neutral colors are the most desirable for Constance, with the exception of some colors being also desirable, like rose sakura. Mauve is very desirable. The things that I've come to realize that even though you would think you've got a safe purchase within Hermes, it is not the case when it comes to the Constance. It is a lot to do with the color, and also, you know, brand new bag, that sort of thing. I bought this pre-loved, so again, I kind of feel like I paid the wrong price for it. I pretty much paid a little less than retail, but I bought it at the time that the Constance was kind of dropping when it came to perhaps attainability. And I mean dropping by the sense of it became easier to get in the boutique, and it became not as sought after because of that. Because it started to become easier to get in the boutiques, that desirability kind of dropped off a bit because it was just more accessible. So I should have paid less for the bag. Do I think that the reseller charged me too much? No, I don't, because it was just at the time where the trend was starting to change. And if I had waited, it is quite likely the bag would have dropped down in price anyway. So I'm going to wrap up this video. Hopefully, oh, there we go again. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Definitely go and check out the Purse Affair. If you are wanting to buy any luxury items, she has a vast variety available on her store, on her website, on her Instagram. Go and check it out. Everything is authenticity guaranteed. She is fantastic to deal with. I cannot stress that enough. It makes it so much more special when the person you're buying from is kind and sweet and passionate about luxury. If you have any questions, as always, put them down in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.